Ian Rappaport is reporting that Mike Tomlin, Art Rooney, and the Pittsburgh Steelers got the impression that it will work with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback in 2025. It's great news, music to my ears, because Aaron Rodgers is the only chance the Pittsburgh Steelers have of winning a playoff game and headed to the Super Bowl. Rappaport believes Steelers got impression this could work after meeting with Aaron Rodgers. I agree. The Pittsburgh Steelers hosted Aaron Rodgers for a visit on Friday that lasted about 6 hours. He didn't leave with a contract, but that was reportedly never the purpose of the meeting, as both sides wanted to get to know each other and align on goals for the 2025 season and beyond. According to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, the meeting went really well. It sounded like it went really well, Rappaport said via the Pat McAfee show on ESPN this afternoon. That's my sense. Sounded like it went really well. Pat McAfee, he also tweeted, it sounded like the meeting between Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers went really well. Let's listen.
It was amazing to me, and we've sort of talked about this before, the close circle that Aaron Rodgers has. Not a lot of people knew about this visit. People very close to him did not know about this visit, which, look, this leaked, or not leaked, I hate that word. It broke from a reporter who's covered the Steelers for a very long time and is very tied in there, only once he was in the building, right? So, for a lot of us, I think, we sort of thought a visit would be coming, but just to be frank, I was also I saw the news and was like, oh, okay, I guess it's today. I didn't know either, and so I think there were a lot of people real close to him that were sort of a little bit in the dark, which I think he likes. Now, as far as the visit, and we'll get into this a little more when Greg Sankey's not waiting for us, and you let me know when to shut up so he can get on. But it sounded like it went really well. And that is my sense. Sounded like it went really well.
I think he wanted to, I think they both probably wanted to get to know each other. The way Jerry Dulac has been reporting on the Steelers for a very long time, I assume as soon as he walks in the building, somebody sees him that Jerry knows and tips him off, and Jerry reports it, and then everybody else kind of follows suit. With that being said, I think it was both sides wanting to get to know. The Michigan Pro Day was allegedly happening on this particular Friday. They opted not to go to the Michigan Pro Day to meet with Aaron ownership. Obviously, the con artist Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, probably numerous others around the building. I don't know if this was necessarily just him trying to get a feel out for what the Pittsburgh Steelers would be like, but also the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe getting a feel out for Aaron Rodgers. Will this thing work? Maybe. I'm pretty excited, but
it's gonna work. Bring in Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is going to break the 9-year streak of not being able to win a playoff game. Bring him in. It's gonna work. No doubt about it. Aaron Rodgers threw for over 4,000 yards last year, 28 touchdowns. He had better numbers than Josh Allen. He's not washed up. I predict he gives you closer to 3 years than a year. I fully believe in Aaron Rodgers 1,000%. All you got to do is take the blinders off, put your politics to the side, give your politics a timeout, and look at the tape. The tape speaks for itself. This is the NFL. It's cut and dry. You either perform or you don't perform. You're either playing at a high level or you're not. And Aaron Rodgers is clearly playing at a high level. I'm not even going to read the article. It's also being reported that Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson's relationship is not the same. Of course it's not, because Russell Wilson is in full denial. It's nothing personal. He just doesn't get it. He's not a good player anymore. He's not an NFL starting quarterback. And it's not that Mike Tomlin doesn't like him as a person. It's just that Mike Tomlin doesn't want him to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't blame Mike Tomlin whatsoever. I don't even want Russell Wilson as the backup. I want Mason Rudolph as the backup and Aaron Rodgers to start. Typical Russ. See, I never knew. I used to think, the media's just, they don't like Russell Wilson. It must be something personal. And then you hear all of Russell Wilson's ex-teammates come out and say negative things about him. Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. There have been multiple players, ex-players, that have said that Russell Wilson is a horrible teammate, a horrible human being in general. And that was coming out of Denver too. So he just doesn't want to accept he's not the same player as he once was. Then on top of it, you have Russell Wilson leaking to the media that the reason for his bad play was because the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, Arthur Smith wouldn't let him audible out of plays. So then he doesn't want to take accountability for his diminishing skills. So nobody wants Russ back in the building. I don't blame Mike Tomlin. It's like Russ is the type of guy, do you think we don't watch the games and watch the game tape and see what's going on? And, oh, I only sucked because they didn't let me audible. Russ, come on. Just stop. Mike Golic Jr. says that he would go insane if Mason Rudolph was his starting quarterback. He thinks that Steelers fans should be unhappy if Mason Rudolph is the guy. Mason Rudolph's been here before, Golic said Monday on his Golic and Golic podcast. This locker room is behind him. I get all that stuff from his standpoint because the guys in the locker room should believe we can win with who we got because we're a team and with that kind of pedigree, and we're a team that's got great coaching and all the things the Steelers have to sell. But if you root for that football team, I feel like if they trotted Mason Rudolph out there again, I'd go insane if I was a fan on that team. Just feeling like you're on this conveyor belt that keeps getting you back to the same place. Yeah, exactly. Over and over and over again. That's exactly what goes on. I mean, Mason Rudolph is a serviceable backup. He's a serviceable guy if you need him to start. You know, if you want to go 8-9, 11-6, if Mason Rudolph went 11-6 as the Steelers starter, that would be a fantastic year. There's not a lot of huge upside. His last game as a Pittsburgh Steeler against the Bills, he played great. The Steelers just didn't do enough to win for him to outduel Josh Allen, and TJ Watt was out. So you never know. He could be a Baker Mayfield. He could blossom late. It's always a possibility. I just think it's funny the way Golic, I'd go insane. It's like being on a conveyor belt, going back to the same place over and over again. He's just summing up Mike Tomlin and the Steelers perfectly. Mel Kiper also says Cam Hayward can't play forever. Mel Kiper Jr. pounds the table for Steelers drafting Derrick Harmon. I totally agree with Mel Kiper. Cam Hayward can't play forever. And all these recent defensive line signings by the Pittsburgh Steelers, to me, that's just to add depth. I don't think any of those defensive lineman signings have the potential to be superstars like Cam Hayward or the next Mean Joe Green, Casey Hampton. It's just not there. They've already been in the league close to 10 years, 8 years, you know, both of the guys that they've signed. So I want to draft a young guy in the first round, a defensive lineman, a stud, and hopefully the Pittsburgh Steelers can develop him into the next Joe Green or Cam Hayward. The upside has already been proven by the players that they have signed. We've seen what they can do or that they're going to do. They're not even going to be half the player that Cam Hayward was. Mel Kiper went on to say Cam Hayward cannot play forever. He's a future Hall of Famer. We know that. Derrick Harmon can be one heck of a player in the NFL as well. Harmon was the Steelers' selection in Kiper's latest mock, filling a critical need along Pittsburgh's defensive line. After spending most of his career at Michigan State, Harmon transferred to Oregon for 2024 and enjoyed a breakout season. He finished with career high in tackles, 45, tackles for a loss, 10.5, sacks 5, and pass deflections 4. With great size and length at 6'4.5", 313 pounds, 34 3/8 inch arms. He profiles perfectly for Pittsburgh's defense. Harmon has even received Cam Hayward comparisons thanks to his build, power, and explosiveness. Derrick Harmon has done everything the right way, Kiper said. Michigan State, the production wasn't always there you expected it to be. He put it all together at Oregon. Then he had a great combine. Our scouting report has been high on Harmon since January and put him squarely on Pittsburgh's radar even before he became a popular first-round inclusion. The scouting report on Harmon says Harmon is a well-rounded interior rush player with the experience and skill set to play base 3-4 end. Those types of guys aren't the easiest to find and project, especially for someone with Harmon's higher end traits. He's a solid fit for a team like Pittsburgh, which could be looking for an eventual Cam Hayward replacement. He has 2 years left on his deal, and the Steelers drafted Hayward 2 years before they needed him. We gave Harmon a first-round grade, and I seen Oregon play a few times. This guy's an absolute monster. He can run. This is exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers need to use on a first-round draft pick. If you can't get Ibuka out of Ohio State, who I'm a big fan of, and I think he's going to be a great NFL player, I would be more than happy with Harmon. I don't want to hear that the Steelers aren't going to draft any defensive linemen because they have all these free agent signings on the defensive line. I think that'd be a big mistake. This is a once in a every 10-year type player. He's a legitimate end in a base 3-4 defense. He can run. He can fill gaps. He could rush the quarterback. He could stop the run. He's a super explosive player. I love the pick, and I think Mel Kiper is absolutely right.